Thanks for being with us, and we begin tonight with breaking news out of Afghanistan, where a coordinated attack on the U.S. consulate in the western city of Herat began with a truck bomb explosion, was followed by a furious gun battle, but thankfully ended with no injured Americans and all attackers killed. The Taliban is claiming responsibility, and according to the State Department, it came at sunrise, about 5:30 Friday morning in Afghanistan, when the truck drove to the front gate. The men inside opening fire on the Afghan police just outside the walls with assault rifles, possibly rocket-propelled grenades. The truck then exploded, damaging the gate enough to allow some attackers wearing suicide vests to gain access inside the compound, but all were killed by American security forces. That, of course, a blessed contrast to the deadly attack on the consulate in Benghazi, Libya, just over 1 year ago. But it also fits a pattern of attacks seen throughout the summer in Afghanistan as U.S. forces plan for next year's withdrawal while handing over virtually all defense duties to Afghans. We understand about 18 civilians thus far were injured. 2 Afghan police, 1 Afghan guard killed in that, and we'll continue to gather details through the night. Have a much fuller picture on Good Morning America and at abcnews.com. We pivot now to much lighter fare. It is Fashion Week here in New York, and as style watchers notice a shift in the shape of those runway models, American women may finally be seeing something of themselves up on the catwalk. Here's ABC's Juju Chang.
Perhaps the only thing skinnier than the runway models at Fashion Week are their stilettos. But this is a fashion first. No plus-size clothing line has ever graced the catwalk at New York's Fashion Week. Until now.
One small step for big girls.
One giant step for womankind.
Yeah. But this major fashion moment for full-figured women is part of a trend to represent real women's bodies in the retail industry.
This actually looks like one of the suits that I shot.
Meet Jenny Runk. At 5'10" and a size 14, she isn't what you'd typically think of as a bikini model, but she's the red-hot poster child for this year's H&M campaign for Beyoncé's swimsuit line.
I just feel really good in a swimsuit, because with a swimsuit it moves with you, so I can kind of do whatever I want, which makes it a lot more fun.
There is this trend towards larger figures. I mean, Kate Upton is a perfect example of somebody who has a lot of curves and is dealing with some of that negativity and backlash of being a woman with curves.
It seems to be getting more and more positive and less of the negative. Ultimately, it should just be an acceptance of every body.
Jenny is part of a movement that believes the fashion industry will suffer if they continue to treat real-size fashionistas as second-class citizens.
It's almost as if people have been waiting for somebody to introduce a swimsuit model who's not a size 0. I feel like people have been waiting for it and are really happy to finally see it.
After all, the average woman weighs 166 pounds and wears a size 14 or 16. Now curvier celebs like Kate Upton and even Adele are gracing the covers of Vogue. A new modeling agency is seizing the moment. Curves are in. They represent real-size models, whether they're a size 8 or 18 for that matter.
We're seeing new clients pop up and existing clients using Plus, but we're also seeing the day rates of existing girls going up.
Gary Dakin and Jacqueline Sarka used to run the plus-size division at Ford in New York until it was shut down.
How tall is she?
She's 5'10", size 10, 12. She's already gotten offers, but she's holding out to meet us.
So they launched a new agency called Jag out of his apartment to take advantage of the growing plus-size market.
It's overwhelming. It's coming in from all over the world. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wannabes in there, and you're like, how the hell did you hear about us?
They cherry-picked a roster of 30 models who they had groomed and brought over from Ford. This is 19-year-old Madison. She's hoping Jag could be her big break.
Gary and I were obsessed with her and just loved her off the set.
But they aren't sure if Madison has the spark they're looking for.
She's not a fuller girl, as you see. She's smaller, but she does have a 40-inch hip, which puts her at a size 10 in the fashion industry.
The stakes are high.
Visa debit?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Retail analysts expect plus-size clothing sales to jump more than 5% a year for the next 5 years.
Love this.
At the end of the day, the fashion industry is a business. 20% of our revenue is from women who are over a size 12, and it's finally like, ding!
And celebrities are launching their own lines of hip clothes to cash in on the $17 billion plus-size market.
Still keeps a level of class and sexiness.
Retailers are catching on too. High-end designers like Michael Kors, Calvin Klein, and Vince Camuto are getting into the game.
Let's do this.
And now, with business booming, Jag Models is finally getting their first real office.
As we grew so rapidly, we needed to get out of that environment, and I needed my home back.
2 months in, Gary and Jacqueline are still on the hunt for fresh faces.
Have you picked up a lot of models?
One.
Can I see the girl that you picked?
Madison made the cut.
She's amazing.
Exquisite. And no matter what size she was, this is why Jag was created. It's for a girl like this. And the size is definitely different than anything else. It's going to be exciting getting her going.
How are you?
Welcome. And she definitely isn't like anything else we have.
Madison has become the first new model Jag has signed.
I just need you to print and sign and date again there. Great. You are now a Jag model. Welcome.
I'll tell you to smile, not smile.
Jacqueline and Gary are shaping the new wave of models who they hope will book jobs traditionally reserved for the slimmer set.
I had interviews at all the different agencies in New York City, but Jag was the only one that wanted to sign me for who I was and what I looked like.
In the early stages, models often need coaching sessions. Today, Cammie is getting some tips on how to drop her former pageant ways. Cammie Crawford is a former Miss Teen USA.
And so Miss Teen USA 2010 is Maryland.
No more of this. Yes, no more stiff. It's basically starting over again. Yeah. So everything that you've learned in your pageant days, forget about it.
She's gladly trading the pageant days for the model life.
The hardest part about competing
17-year-old Cammie Crawford
was trying to be small and be the size 0 that I know that I'm not. And that's why I'm so happy where I'm at now, because I can wear a size 10 and still feel as confident as I was when I was a size 0.
Now at a size 10-12, she's adjusting to a surprisingly more relaxed lifestyle as a model who can indulge.
I don't shy away from the croissants and the breads that I like, and I have French fries. I have lots of pasta. I love pasta.
Within reason, of course.
The goal is not to lose weight. The goal is just to maintain and stay toned.
A large part of success in modeling, Gary says, is owning your body, regardless of its size.
You can tell immediately in a girl too if she wants to lose the weight, like she's hiding, she's trying to position herself, she looks smaller.
For Jag, these women are more than a dress size.
These are girls whose lives you've become very enmeshed in. You might scold them, but you also give them a lot of love.
Yeah. You know, I've gotten mortgages for girls. I've walked them down the aisle. I've done like so many different things. You're everything to them.
They're banking on more high fashion runways, joining the real size revolution.
Ultimately, one day we'll get rid of the size. The more numbers we can get rid of, the more we can go on the merit of the girl and, you know, what she brings to the table.
For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang in New York.